Time for a November garden tour. It rained all last night, but it's sunny today, and so I thought I'd show you what's still left in the garden. Hi, I'm Kim here at City Oasis in Northern California, Zone 9B, where fall comes late, but we're sure glad to see it. We still have plenty of flowers blooming all over the garden, fruit ripening, and more blossoms coming, and plenty that I need to get busy harvesting. Just look at this sunflower starting to bloom. It was a random late volunteer that came up near my rhubarb, and I'm certainly not complaining. Isn't it gorgeous? Definitely need to get those harvested. Walking green onion everywhere I look, which is not a bad thing by any means. In fact, it's a very good thing. I can never get enough walking onions. This is a Eureka Meyer lemon, and it's blooming at the same time that it's fruiting, which is often what citrus do. And those look lovely. I was kind of surprised to see this tree produce this year, since it is so young. So I was really happy to see the fruit on it, and now these blooms. My Owari Satsuma, brand new to my garden this year, has two huge fruits on it that are just starting to turn a little bit orange. They were the deepest green, and I can see a tint of lightness coming on there. I'm thinking they're going to be ready to harvest in late December, and I'm really looking forward to tasting them. This is a very cold hardy mandarin tree, and I am so glad I picked it up along with a companion for it nearby. Harvested my lime tree last month. I missed one, which I've got to get off today, but for the most part I got them all. And the borage beneath it is still doing great. Thousands of little volunteer borage around it. You can see down there, and there really are thousands. Once I remove that, well, calling it mulch, but that debris, I might transplant some of the borage. Borage is great for the garden in so many ways, and you can transplant it, but you have to do it when the borage is young because it gets a really deep taproot, and then it doesn't like transplanting at all. And speaking of transplanting, this lime tree is going to be transplanted either into a much bigger pot or into the ground sometime either in a few weeks or maybe in the spring. I haven't decided yet. Cherry tomato here doing well. You see those red stalks back in there? That is some Swiss chard. Let's go around the back. Yeah, here we go. We can see it. Some beautiful Swiss chard in there. That's great thrown into stir fry. And it will be allowed to really take off after I get the cherry tomato out, which is overshadowing it by far. So I've got some husky red cherry tomatoes that are doing well now amidst the marigolds. Definitely going to do a harvest on these. Usually the cherry tomatoes do well right in through December. I don't think I'm going to take the green ones though, because they'll do well for several more weeks and have a chance to turn red themselves, and more green ones are coming on. You know, smaller ones are growing and there are more blossoms, so I'll definitely have green ones to make salsa with come December. You know, I also have for salsa some, can you see them? They're hiding in there, tomatillas with their little paper husks. They're just all, oh, one just fell. Let's see. We'll get that one, and looks like there's a few more. That's how you know when they're ripe, by the way, when they fall to the ground on their own. You take the little husk off, and then there they are. So I'll have green ones and purple ones. You can see that one was starting to turn purple. I'd like them to turn purple, but I've used them green as well. It's kind of like with green cherry tomatoes or red. They both taste great in salsa. And I've got plenty on this plant. This volunteer tomatilla plant that came up here in this bed, probably courtesy of a bird dropping. Also in this bed are my loofahs, and I've been researching how to go about harvesting them because I've never grown loofah before. Certainly haven't harvested it or tried to turn it into a loofah sponge, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got that one, which is much older and starting to turn yellow. And then this younger green one. So that's coming soon. There are two schools of thought when it comes to the timing of harvesting loofahs. And so when I do my harvest video, we'll talk about that. Something else I need to do a final harvest on is my red Roselle hibiscus, because I've got a bed here full of it. These calyxes are huge and there are a lot of them to harvest. I'm really looking forward to making some jam and scones and some candied Roselle. And I'm also going to make for the first time some Jamaica, which is the name for a special drink, a traditional drink made with the red Roselle hibiscus in Mexico and in the Caribbean. And I'm really looking forward to trying it. My globe artichokes have come back from their roots, as they always do. Looking super healthy, and they will keep growing throughout the winter, and then about February they will send up their first artichokes, which I usually let go to bloom because, wow, their gorgeous purple blooms are stunning and the pollinators really love them. Let's go take a look at the herb bed there by the chickens. And on the end of the herb bed, looking a little worse for wear, is my lemon verbena, which I'm going to harvest one last time here before winter sets in. You know, our version of winter anyway. More green onions down there, of course. Love me my walking onions. Here we've got some marjoram and some red vein sorrel there, and also on this side of it. These were new plants that I put in a few months ago, and they're doing okay. What's really taken off that I put in recently is my Mexican tarragon and the French sorrel. Now, I've been growing French sorrel for years. My chickens right there, well, they love French sorrel. So I decided to plant some more so I can give them more. I mean, I love French sorrel too, in stir fries especially, or torn up and put in salads. It's a little bit spicy, but not too much, not as much as mustard. More walking onions there. And here I have some yarrow. I need to deadhead that so it will maybe bloom again before the colder weather hits. And a volunteer sunflower, I'm letting that one go. I have another volunteer sunflower right over here. I did see a bird in here this morning actually perched on this and pecking away, so could be birds. In here I've got some lime thyme, which I really love. It looks like something got to the French sorrel too, so I'm gonna tear off some of these leaves, not all of them, but some of them, because my chickens will adore me for giving them some. And we like having chickens that adore us. So over here I've got oregano, starting to look super healthy there. I cut that oregano all the way back recently because it had filled up this entire section. So look at that, it's come back. Oregano does that. It's super tough. So anyway, more French sorrel. This is a volunteer lemon balm. Don't know how it got over here, but it did. And some more yarrow. Again, need to deadhead that. It's a vintage violet that's really pretty. And then the lime thyme is almost a fluorescent, and it is so good. It's my favorite thyme of all, I've decided. So I'm going to try to get it to spread, because thyme will do that pretty easily. I'll show you. So this is a big pot of lemon thyme I have, and I harvest from it all the time, no pun intended. And it's grown so huge out of a big 15-gallon container. It has spread into this nearby raised bed. And when I say spread, what I mean is it, you know, grew over it, and then it hit the ground and it set root. So now all I need to do is cut this one connecting stem, and then that will be its own freestanding plant. And this has happened over here too, on this side with that one. So I'm probably going to do that this week, cut those off, and maybe either transplant them somewhere else, probably what I'll do, or I could leave them there and move the big one somewhere else. But it seems pretty happy there, and it's probably set root in the ground, so it would be easier to transplant the new little ones. Here in this middle bed, I've got Mexican poppies that are spreading everywhere, which they will do, and they are gorgeous when they bloom. Nothing like it. Maybe I'll try to put a picture in here of those. But yeah, I can't have them take over the entire garden. I need to get in there and deadhead my echinacea. The plant itself is doing well, sending out lots of new green growth there from the bottom, new shoots. And here, of course, more volunteer borage. Some of it already sending out its delicate purple blossoms. Sometimes they look blue depending on the light. The plant will flower and produce its best leaves in the fall and in the early spring. And it sends up probably more volunteers than any other plant I know. I mean, really, these are all borage. So many. But they're easy enough to take out when I want to. More cherry tomatoes. They will keep producing here well into mid-December. I've even had them go into January once. That little melon is so tiny, I think I'm just going to give it to the chickens. These, on the other hand, I'm hoping will keep ripening throughout the fall so that I can enjoy them. 3 delicata squash that came on late. They don't mind the weather right now. It's been in the mid-60s all week, and still plenty sunny most days. Just hope they have enough time to finish. If you can believe it, I barely can. My watermelon bed is giving me a 4th round of watermelons. I have some foot-long moon and stars melons in here that I should get off, especially because I found out that I can dehydrate strips of this into a kind of watermelon jerky or watermelon fruit leather. So I'm definitely going to be doing that with the melons I harvest this week, as well as the melons I harvested last week. And that right in the middle is a volunteer salvia of sorts. It's a pineapple sage. And boy, those leaves make great tea, pineapple flavored tea, and the smell is wonderful. Not to mention the beautiful flowers, which the bees, the butterflies, and the hummingbirds all love. More peppers to harvest. Got cubanelles here. And more up there. Some more banana peppers in this plant. I just harvested about 10 big Jimmy Nardellos yesterday. It looks like there's some more growing on here. And little ones coming on too. We'll see if they have a chance to finish growing. Hello, baby. Hello. She loves doing garden tours with me. Yeah. The violet sparkle peppers I left on the plant about a month ago because they were just bright green are finally, on this one too, finally turning purple. Believe it or not, they will get a very deep dark purple. And that's what I'm waiting for. I just have to judge the weather properly because we have not gotten down into the 30s yet at night, but that could happen, so I'm keeping a close eye on it. It's pretty rare that we get below 30, but it always pays to be on the lookout. And what do we have here? Oh, we've got some Georgia flames starting to turn red, and some that are still just green, but they're coming on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This pepper grew huge, the plant, but it always looked like it was suffering. It never looked happy, and it didn't grow a single pepper until now. This is a Tunisian Bakludi, and I can't even believe this. 2 weeks ago, I didn't see a sign of anything, and suddenly there are some peppers on here. The plant still does not look happy, but we'll try out its peppers. I have some volunteer broomcorn sorghum here amidst the peppers. You know, I do love the way it looks. However, last year and this year, when it came up, it was just coated with aphids. And I don't really get aphids in my garden. I've never really struggled with them that I can recall, but they love this broomcorn sorghum. So I didn't plant it again this year, but it's come up as a volunteer, which I have cut back every place I found it, and it just grows again and again. Oh well, it does look nice. But, you know, I thought maybe that was what was bothering this pepper plant, but there's no aphids on the pepper plant. This does seem to be a plant, like if you did have a problem with aphids, I would grow this because I think it would attract all the aphids to it and off your other plants. Next to it on the other side, I have some pepperoncinis, which are getting nice size now that the weather's cooled off. They really are the one pepper plant I had that did not seem to like the hot weather we get here. It's very intensely dry heat here. 105 to 115 often Fahrenheit throughout the worst of it in July and August. But now there are lots of pepperoncinis to harvest. And it looks like a few buena mulatas as well. Yeah, there's another one back there, and over there's one turning red, which they don't usually do. I usually take them when they're purple. My pretty geranium plant, I really need to get in there and take off some of the dead blooms and some of the yellow leaves, and probably cut it way back. It has spread far out of the little bed I put it in. And geranium is so easy to just grow from a cutting. You just stick it in the ground, kind of like purple tree kale. It'll just grow for you. So I should do that here. Let's see if the squash plants back here are doing anything. They came up late, but oh, there's a little one. Is that all we've got? There's a bloom, but who knows if that'll do anything at this point. Oh, look in there. Got a kabocha squash. Yay, those are so good. What about over here? This is a butternut, if I recall, which I've already taken 4 or 5 off of. Oh, there's one. That's good. It's about 6 or 7 inches long already. We'll see if it has time to ripen. Oh, I just spotted some more monster watermelons in here. Look at that. Oh, that's at least 15 inches, maybe more, 18. And another one there, and a small one there. Yep, gonna try the watermelon fruit leather. Back over here in my herb bed, I skipped over my overgrown summer savory, which I desperately need to take care of, clearly. More French sorrel, the original, that I continuously harvest for the chickens. And my overgrown oregano with its pretty purple blossoms. These are the 2 plants, the summer savory just a few feet away, and this oregano that I didn't get around to pruning back, but they can hack it. No pun intended. They'll be fine. I'll do that soon. Over here, I've still got all kinds of volunteer lemon balm to transplant, and the lemon balm plant has come back fully and looks fabulous, although it looks like something has enjoyed munching on it a bit. But still plenty of untouched leaves to use in teas and such. All these cherry tomatoes make me think of 2 things. Pasta salad and salsa. Both coming soon. Petunias, they've just done so well here where they get only morning sun. They have appreciated the afternoon shade. Even during the worst of the summer heat, they did fine because of where I had them positioned. Same with these cosmos. Loquat tree doing well, and behind it, my bay leaf tree, which I'm going to be harvesting and drying bay leaves to use throughout the winter in soups and stews. That was a nice addition to my food forest, I must say. All this volunteer amaranth in this container where I have bearded iris bulbs, and look what's growing right behind it next to the duck pen. Some volunteer oregano with the purple blossoms I love. Love it when it turns my tea purple. Hello, ducks. How are you? Some dinosaur kale, which they absolutely adore. Don't ya? You love that stuff, huh, girls? Purple alyssum coming up in a little pot that some bird dropped some olives into. Now I've got 2 olive tree seedlings. That's how easily olives grow. I have seedlings like this coming up all over my property, which I usually dig up and transplant. This one right here was a little seedling like that just 2 seasons ago. Yeah, not an issue to grow olive trees, which is nice because if I do end up moving, which is probably 75% likely, I will have plenty of olive trees to take with me so I can keep being Olive City Oasis. Also, more importantly, I can keep enjoying the leaves for my olive leaf tea, which is so good for me, and I really love its savory flavor. Hello, strawberries in November. And if you want a gorgeous flower that's hardy, doesn't mind the cold, and just looks amazing most of the year, I heartily recommend snapdragons. So many colors to choose from, you really can't go wrong. And purple tree kale, I feel like I talk about it so much along with walking green onions, but that's because it's so amazing. I mean, it's so delicious. So much better, in my opinion, than other kales, other greens, really. I just love it stir-fried or put in soups and stews, and it's really easy to preserve because you can put it in the freezer. Also, it makes amazing kale chips. What a great snack idea. Super easy to do with a dehydrator. I hope you enjoyed visiting my garden today in the middle of November. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel and you like this kind of content, I'd love for you to do so. It'd be great. I hope you have an awesome week and a wonderful end to your November. And remember, enjoy nature, even if it's raining, even if it's chilly, or if you're on the other side of the world, spring is on the way. Whatever the case may be, wherever you are, nature has so much to offer. It's up to us to get out there and enjoy it. I think I'm gonna go grab me some hot tea and just come sit in the garden and watch the birds. That sounds like a good plan.